Ring-a-ding-ding, we're back. Welcome Rotarian guests to the Rochester Rotary September 1st live and Zoom meeting. My name's Ron Lichtel, and I serve here at the Rochester Rotary Club as your president. Woo, This is kind of different because we're still staying on that 1 o'clock end time, so that's why we're getting the food first. Would you all please stand and join me in Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. You can go ahead and be seated, and we'll recite the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And for Wayne out there, the fifth one, or last one, will it be fun for all? Mr. Ray Dorr, are you out there?
I am.
Okay, would you please give us the invocation?
Yes. Will you please bow your head with me, please? Let us pray, each in accordance with our individual beliefs. Let us give thanks for the opportunity to meet as a club, whether we are live or online, as we feel comfortable doing. Let us give thanks that the challenging times we've been experiencing and continue to experience have provided us with challenges, blessings, and opportunities. We ask that you be with those who have tested positive for COVID or any other health or personal concerns during these times. Let us give thanks for the frontline healthcare workers and for their calling to serve us. Let us give thanks for the safe food preparation and distribution by Nino and his staff. Let us give thanks for your presence with us today, and as we move forward with hope and a promise for a better tomorrow. Bless this food to the good of our body and us to continue to provide service above self to our community and the world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate that. Also, one of us are back home sick. That's John Somerville. Keep him in your prayers. If you're a guest, you've already signed in here, but on the Zoom, if you would sign in on the chat so that Mr. Stu Signer can get your information and acknowledge your interest. Our 15th handshake today was Marianne Redinger. You know what? I think I'm going to have Jeff come up and introduce the guests that we have here live today. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, sir. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the greatest club on earth. It's time to say this again. We have one guest today. Kathy, you have a guest.
I'd like to introduce you to Jenny Carino. Jenny ran the house yesterday.
All right. Wonderful. Welcome to Rochester Rotary. I thought I'd also throw out, up until Rodney, I was the youngest president ever. I was president in '96, and I opened every meeting. That was right after we closed down the printing company. We closed down the printing company. I had to lease out the building. I started a career as real estate, and I was president of Rochester Rotary that year. I started every meeting that way, and it's been a good thing ever since. Take care.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. Happy Bucks today. We have any happy Bucks? Man, I have one. I'm glad to be here. Yes, sir.
I do have a happy buck. I finally have a house almost done built on Lake Orion finally after many, many years. And I have a pontoon boat. I I will share with anyone, whoever would like to have a pond too.
We'll put that out as a prize for the when it comes up for our big event. All right. Any more happy bucks?
I just want to thank all of you.
You know what? Hold on a second.
Here you go. Okay. Keep
Oh, okay. I just want to thank all of you fellow Rotarians for all of your support for the OPC, especially during our recent election for their operational millage. I can't thank you enough. It means so much to the seniors in the community to have the support that we have. It's just incredible. And especially during the COVID crisis, all of your support with our continuation of the essential services. Shout out to Joe with the Community Foundation. Shout out to Tim, who provided some virtual programming about the insurance changes, and all of you out there that have supported us during this time. So thank you, thank you.
I've been wanting to say this since March. My latest book came out in March. It's a story about Mackinac Island, a time travel story where my grandkids walk the labyrinth at my house in Lake Orion, and they come out in 1823 on Mackinac Island. It's really a fun story. A lot of history in it, but it's still a fun story. I also have just had my memoirs published. That just came out a couple weeks ago. Those are both available on Amazon if anyone's interested. They also have them at the drugstore. So anyone wants to stop at Lytle Pharmacy, it's still in operation. There you go. All right.
I'd like to give a standing O for Ron for putting this together. I know it wasn't easy, and you made it happen. It really feels good.
Wait, Shirley has a happy buck.
Wait. I have not seen my son and daughter-in-law and 3 grandkids since Christmas, but they are coming here tomorrow night for the long weekend. So
Just wanted everybody to know that the Detroit Lions are undefeated so far.
Want to say my son played his first varsity tennis match last week, and his doubles team beat Adams. Yeah.
Yeah, we good?
All right. Member birthdays. Blake McClellan is on the 3rd. And where is he? Stewart. Where are you? Right there. Stu's birthday on the 7th. Let's sing happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear Stuart.
Happy
Birthday to you.
$5,
Please.
Come on, get the cobwebs out of the wallet, Stu. Yes. Club anniversary, we got a bunch of them. Justin Masters, 2 years. Sharon Rinke, 1 year. Kyle Johnson, 4 years. John Somerville, 4 years. Andrea Walker Lady, I keep forgetting that's Lady, 4 years. And John Gaber, 22 years. Club announcements. Mr. Tom Nouveau, you want to come up and tell us a little bit about what's coming up here Thursday? Okay. He says, I should tell you. September 3rd, Thursday, from 6 to 8:30, right here, we're going to have a social event. There's going to be some hors d'oeuvres, pay for your own drinks, whatever. But we're getting back together. So please, Tom emailed that out. Basically, let him know who's coming so he's got a good head count for food. Next week, we will not be meeting here. Live next week at Innovation Park, noon to 1. Is Roger Berg around? He's still the Rotarian of the Week. I think he's taking the whole thing on that. Our sheriff today is Mr. David Blair. Is he out there? David Blair. He deserves a fine. We have any of our other sheriffs here today? Stewart. There it is. He said everybody. Come on.
Hope you all have the money left after all those happy bucks. And birthday bucks. $5. Stu, you're first. Do you have any money left?
Yeah, I did. You're a little bit late, like always.
All right, I'll keep it quick in the spirit of things here. Am I on the camera too? Oh yeah, there you go. Looking up my nose. That's not good. All right, that's a good view. Today is American Chess Day. For those of you who didn't know that, so it's $1 if you're the smartest person at your table.
What if you're not?
Really? Really? That's exciting. That's exciting. Everybody online, it's $2 because, just because. Okay, September is Fall Hat Month. That makes $5 for Phil Lohman. You got a hat on, Phil? I'm sure you do. There's a hat. That's $5. It's National Mushroom Month. $5, Stuart. The mushrooms aren't that good for everything. Physical therapy, maybe. National Potato Month. So all of the Irish, that's $2. You got to water your crops from now. It's Library Card Month, so everybody that is not employed by the library, that's $1. The Liberty Bell was delivered on this day to Philadelphia. If you've never seen it, that's $1. If you've ever had a Philly cheesesteak, you know who you are. That's $2. Oh, today was the day that the former vice president attempted to overthrow America. Wait a minute, I got more notes on that. Oh, that was 1807, Aaron Burr. Now, anybody that thought I was talking about Trump or thought about Biden, that's $1. If you didn't think I was talking about Biden, it's $2 because I was talking about Biden. In 1901, the construction of the New York Stock Exchange started. That's $1 if you own any stocks, $3 if you're a broker of any kind. How come I don't see any dollars going out? Come on, let's see it. There they go. And no money if you're broke. If you're poor, you don't have to pay on that one. The U.S. and Japan met on the deck of the Missouri to finalize Japan's surrender in whatever year that might have been, 1940 something. Forgot to write it down. 1945. It's $1 if your grandfather was not on the deck of that ship. I'm exempt. I did have a grandfather witness that. So that's $1 for everybody, except me. Fact check that. It was actually September 2nd, but because of the international date line, it can be called September 1st. There's that Jay over there about to fact check me. Look at him. He's rubbing his head. That's a good one. So it's also $1 if you've never seen the movie Battleship. Most of you people, I don't think, have seen the movie Battleship. It's where the Missouri is used to defeat space aliens. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good movie. But if you haven't seen it, it's $1. It's $1 if you've never played the Battleship game. And any of the vets or active duty military are exempt from that fine. Finally, singer Kelly Clarkson won her first music video award on September 1st, about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. The It's $1 if you like Kelly Clarkson. And it's $5 if you have any of her music downloaded on any of your devices. Roger, where is he? So yeah, that's it. I guess that's nobody here. All right, that's it. Any more fines you want me to levy?
Nope.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Real well. Thanks for shipping in with us. All right, we're at that point right now. Mr. Tim Duncan, are you available?
Yeah, I'm here. So
You're here.
I'm
All right.
virtually here. Hey, President, one question is Amy Converse in the crowd there?
Oh, she is. She is here. Yes.
Excellent. So, all right. So can everybody, I'm up. Okay. I'm up to the microphone. You got it?
Yeah.
All right.
Sir.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Our speaker for today is Amy Converse. Amy has been in the banking industry, forming long-lasting relationships for 13 years. Currently, she is a relationship banker at Level 1 Bank in Rochester Hills, Michigan. Most of us know Amy as a Rotarian, joining Rochester Rotary on February 5th, 2020. Amy has a lot more information about herself in her presentation. Please join me in welcoming Amy Converse.
All right. All yours, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. What I came to talk about today was the PPP loans. Some of you took some out of the PPP loans with your bank. So you probably are wondering about when do they want the money back or how do we have to pay it back. So that's what I'm here to kind of explain to you today. The Level 1 bank funded over 2,000 applications for $410 million. Rochester area was funded over 50 applicants for $10.6 million, and Rochester location processed 175 applications for $9 million. So we were successful in that. The forgiveness means the borrower will not have to repay the loan as long as specific criteria are met. Must have used the loan proceeds for authorized and designated expenses. Participants are eligible for the loan forgiveness for the amount spent authorized expenses between 8 weeks to 24 weeks after loan distribution. So if you receive the loan on May 8th, then you go from May 8th. Okay, it's not from the time that you actually took out the loan. You should use the proceeds for these loans, which would be for payroll costs, including benefits. Interest on mortgage obligations occurred before February 15th, 2020. Rent under lease agreements in force before February 15th, 2020. Utilities for which service began before February 15th. Funds are provided to small businesses to pay up to 8 to 24 weeks. The rule in the beginning was 75, 25. They actually changed it to 64, 20. 60% or more of the loan must be used for payroll costs. Okay. The Flexibility Act updated the amount as was 75%. Payments to independent contractors cannot be included in your payroll cost because they can actually take out their own loan. The forgivable amount scales in to the amount spent on payroll up to the total loan amount. So now you can actually use your entire loan for payroll, which was not allowed in the beginning. 40% of the loan can be used for mortgage interest, rent, utilities, including electricity, gas, water, telephone, transportation, and internet access, which that has also changed too. Eligible expenses, once the PPP funds are deposited into the applicant's account, whether you did it with level 1 or whatever, the applicant will be dispersed funds to cover eligible costs. As I stated before, the payroll, the rent, lease, mortgage, interest, utilities, healthcare expenses, retirement account distribution. Applicant must track all expenditures, keep documentation on everything. Required documentation verified for eligible cash compensation and non-cash benefits are covered during the covered period of time. Bank statements or a third-party payroll service provider reports documenting amounts of the cash compensation paid to employees. Tax forms can be used for a period that overlap the covered period or an alternate covered period, including payroll tax filings, tax quarter business and individual employee wages reporting, and unemployment insurance tax filings reported or will be reported to the relevant state. Some businesses actually do have businesses also in California. Payment receipts, canceled checks, account statements, documenting amounts, employer contributions, health insurance, retirement plans, or borrow included in forgiveness amounts. Now, if you were a self-employed person, you'd actually have to keep that too. Okay, for the business, for the mortgage payment, you can use a copy of your amortized schedule and receipts or canceled checks. But everything has to have been before February that you have this mortgage. For businesses, you can also use a copy of a lease and receipts or canceled checks. As I said. For business utilities, a copy of invoices from February of 2020, those paid during the covered period, receipts, canceled checks, account statements, verifying eligible payments. Cell phones and cables can be used. The only part with that is that if you decided, because you're gonna do 80 Zoom calls a day and you decided to use a faster internet service, the only thing that's going to be forgiven is whatever you had on February 15th. So on February 15th, if you had the slower internet, they're only going to reimburse you for the smaller amount. Basically, what I would recommend is that you work with your accountant to complete the loan forgiveness to make sure that you have all the documentations and everything that's verified. We told a lot of our clients that we gave them checks, and we told them in the memo area to make sure that you document. Like if you had for the first week, you put the dates, how much it was, and the hours amounted to allotted, so that you always had that information. Obviously, level 1, if you did it through us, any one of us will give you any support that you need, putting it online, the forgiveness. What basically happens is that your bank, you submit everything online to your bank, no matter what bank you deal with, you're going to submit it online, and then they submit it to the SBA. Okay, and as I'm sure that some of you have heard, there is updated information on this forgiveness. Right now, our legislation is going to pass a law, it is waiting to be signed, that anybody that has a PPP loan, 150,000 or less, will have a very streamlined forgiveness. You will either fill out one form, or you may not even have to fill out that at this point. We don't exactly know how the law is going to go, because all of our politicians have to get along for a couple minutes to get that passed. So the banks have been waiting for a long time to figure out what it's going to look like, but we do not know at this point in time. All we've been told is that 150,000 or less, you will not have to even worry about all the extra stuff. If you did 1 through level 1, we will be starting to take our forgiveness on September 16th. But just like level 1, we recommend that if you had a loan $150,000 or less, that you don't do anything until that bill gets signed, because you might be doing a lot of extra work or have your accountant do a lot of extra work that you really don't even need to do. The last thing that I would tell you, which any banker would tell you or any accountant would tell you, the SBA has 6 years to come back at you for that loan. So any documentation that you have, you must make sure that you have it kept somewhere, whether you put it on a drive or whatever that you want to do, but you need to make sure that you have it with all of your canceled checks. If you did use the PPP loan, I recommend that if you did not document everything, that you go back and document everything very clearly, because I can tell you that some of you, if I asked you what you had for dinner last night, some of you probably could not answer. So in 6 years, you're going to have no absolutely idea how you spent it, where it went, and different things like that. The PPP loan is actually a very unique thing to a lot of the bankers, because none of us have ever seen a loan given out to people without having to have personal liability on it. This basically loan was just basically given to help to help our businesses come back alive. There is talk, the last thing is that if you took out a PPP loan, you may have a chance to take it out again, another one, for the businesses that are failing. They have not come out with any of those requirements yet. We are still waiting on that. So, and if you do have any questions on your personal PPP loan and you have any, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Okay. But yes.
So my understanding is if you take out a PPP loan and you are granted a loan forgiveness, then that will be taxable income. Correct.
I didn't hear the last part.
You get taxed on the loan. The money that you get is taxable income.
From what we've been told, it is not. The loan is totally forgiven. That's what we've been told. Yes.
The expenses that you use to pay the PPP are currently not deductible expenses. Okay, so in essence, it is like taxable income, which is defined. Understood. But they are working on correction to that act to make it not deductible. That was never the intent, to make it taxable. They're working on correcting that. Whether it happens or not.
From what we've been told is that if you have a loan that's $150,000 or less, basically there's no documentation, you have no personal liability to it, so basically the money is yours. That is why a lot of people were recommended to do that loan instead of doing the unemployment. Because a lot of your small, your self-employed people, they had to make a choice depending on what they wanted to do, unemployment or they wanted to take out the loan. That's something you have to ask Vince. I just know how to do the loan. So I just did the loan part. We just made sure that everybody got their stuff forgiven. But it is unique. It was a unique loan that we got, and hopefully they'll come up with something better to keep a lot of the businesses still going. But thank you for having me. And if anybody needs anything, please let me know. Level 1 is up on Rochester Road. Also, I have a box of hand sanitizers that I brought in. Please take one, because we have plenty of them.
I would say today was pretty successful. We had, usually on Zoom, we were running about 32, 34. We had total attendance between Zoom and live 47. We had 37 live. I love it. That's good because we got to guarantee Nino 30. Any other questions, comments before we close this out? And then you can just sit around. Pardon? Next week is Innovation Hills. Hamlin between Crooks and Adams. We just had Joe Allen tell us. On the north side. So that's next week. And then we're back here the following week. Tim. We got a quick update on the Masters. Tim, come on up here.
So anybody that bought tickets to the raffle this year, we're going to move that package to the April date of 2021. And then we're also going to purchase another package, which allows us then to sell the tickets for 2021. So we'll actually have 2 sets of 2 people being able to go. And I'm not sure that we have a date on when we're going to do it. I think we're going to pull both tickets on the same day, probably in March, and then have a big party for that day. So just an update there. So, you know, we're not returning monies. We're just moving the tickets to next year. So we have a few leftover tickets, I think 13 of the 300. So those of you that would like to sell a few more, that's what we're at, right? I think 13. So thanks for everybody that participated. It's going to help for next year. Thank you.
Ron.
Yes, sir.
Fellow once said that masks are like underwear, need more than one. So have I got a deal for you? We've got some handy dandy Rotary masks. Did you bring yours?
I don't have it with me.
Oh, nuts. Well, but they've got the Rotary logo on them. They come in all kinds of colors. And if you'd like some, let me know, because I can get them for you. I want some. And they're really neat. They're $5, and part of the money goes to giving masks away to places that need them.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay. Any other comments? Mr. Tom.
For next Tuesday's meeting at Innovative Park, Brian Barnett is going to be our speaker. He's going to talk about the park for a little bit. This is baby. There's going to be some naturalists there to help explain some things that are going on in the park. What I understand is he's also going to have some golf carts there for those of you. It is a 1.5 mile trek around the park. So those can stay. I know maybe you might have time constraints and you can't stay for the whole program. But those of you that want to take a look at, I understand the kayak launch now is open. So a lot of good things that are happening there. We're going to point out where the Rotary gazebo is going to be built over there. So there's a lot of good things. If you're able to stay and take a look at the whole park, but wear some comfortable shoes and enjoy the park.
Can we ask a question?
We have a question.
We have a question.
So I'd like to know, if I get one of those masks from Jay Eastman, will he autograph it for me?
Absolutely. He says yes.
He's Mr. Rotarian, so I'd be honored to have his autograph.
What? Yeah. Any other questions from the Zoomers? All right, we're closing to an end here. This is great. I've been working weeks and weeks and weeks, and I've been wanting this to happen. It is. I'm really happy to see so many people show up. I was wondering how many were going to show up. So, thank you all for coming, and meeting is adjourned.